22 strangers are running after a ball. People you have never met, in a city you may never visit, chasing a thing you do not own, toward a result you could not change by so much as an inch. And there you are, on your feet, screaming like your life depends on it. Maybe you painted your face. Maybe you just felt your chest go tight when the whistle blew. But something in you locked on, the way it never locks onto a spreadsheet. And for 90 minutes, a group of professional athletes who have never heard your name held your entire nervous system in their hands. And when they won, you said a strange little word. You said, "We." We won. We. As if you had been out there in the mud. As if your sofa were the penalty box. And when they lost, it didn't feel like entertainment. It felt like grief. The week went gray. You replayed the missed chance at 2 in the morning. And some quiet, embarrassed voice asked the question you would never say out loud. It's just a game. Why do I care this much? What is wrong with me? So let me say it right up front. Nothing is wrong with you. You are not childish, you are not alone, and you are definitely not the only grown adult who has gone quiet for a whole evening over men in matching shirts. What you are feeling is not immaturity. It is an instinct. A beautiful, ancient, perfectly working instinct, pointed at a target it was never built for. So get comfortable, because this is the story of why we scream at 22 strangers chasing a ball. And I promise you, it goes back a very, very long way. And if it makes you feel any better, the fans screaming just as hard for the other team? Same story. Exactly the same. To understand it, we have to go back. Way back. Long before stadiums, before flags, before there was a single ball to kick. Picture your ancestors again, in a small band, 30 people, maybe 100. Out there, your group was not a social preference. Your group was your survival. Alone, you were prey. But inside the band, with people who would hunt beside you and stand between you and the dark, you had a chance. So the most important question your ancestors' brain ever asked 100 times a day was simple. Are you one of us or one of them? And evolution built a piece of machinery just to answer it. Call it a tribe detector. And here is how absurdly sensitive that detector is. In 1971, a psychologist named Henri Tajfel at the University of Bristol split total strangers into 2 groups for the most meaningless reason imaginable. Whether they said they liked one abstract painter, Klee, or another one, Kandinsky. That was it. No history, no rivalry, no stakes. Then he let them hand out small sums of money. And every time, people gave more to their own group. Strangers, in a group 30 seconds old, built on a painting they barely glanced at, already playing favorites. Us and them, conjured out of nothing. Now layer on a second piece. Your ancestors did not just belong to the group. They rose and fell with it. When the band won, when the hunt came home, when a rival group backed down, your status rose too, just for being part of it. The group's victory was your victory. And we have proof that exact wiring is still humming inside you. It is honestly a little embarrassing. In 1976, a researcher named Robert Cialdini over at Arizona State watched what students wore to class the Monday after a college football game. The pattern was perfect. After a win, the campus bloomed with team colors. After a loss, they quietly vanished. And listen to how they talked. After a win, it was we. We won. After a loss, suddenly it was they. They lost. They choked. He called it basking in reflected glory. Your team wins, and your self-worth ticks up, for a game you watched lying down. So sit with what your brain is really doing. It is treating a team as your band. It is treating their triumph as your triumph. For 200,000 years, that instinct, bind to the group, rise with the group, was a masterpiece. It made us loyal. It made us belong. It kept us alive. And then, we built something that aimed it like a laser. Because here is the thing about that ancient tribe detector. It does not actually check whether the stakes are real. It just scans for the signals. And somewhere along the way, we got very, very good at building those signals on purpose. So look at what a stadium actually is, through the eyes of a Stone Age brain. There is a group that is clearly yours, a name and a color you wear on your chest. There is a rival, just as clearly them. There is a totem, the badge, the flag. And there are tens of thousands of your people all around you, doing the one thing ancient humans did at every sacred moment that ever mattered. Moving together, singing together, becoming one. A sociologist named Emil Durkheim had a name for that feeling all the way back in 1912. He called it collective effervescence. That electric thing that happens when a crowd moves and chants as a single body, and the line between you and everyone around you just dissolves. You stop being a person in a seat. You become part of something enormous. He was writing about religious rituals, but he might as well have been describing the away end at a cup final. And this is not just a poetic feeling. When people move and chant in sync, something real happens to them. They trust each other more. They start to feel like one body. Synchrony is a kind of glue. Move as one, sing as one, and the old part of your brain quietly decides, these are my people now. So that is the trap, and it is a gorgeous one. The team is your band. The rival is the enemy. The chant is the ancient ritual. Every single button your coalition instinct was ever built to press, a stadium presses all at once, and harder than any real tribe ever could. Your rational mind knows it is a game, but the older, deeper part of you was never going to believe that. Not for a second. Now, I know the skeptical part of you is still holding out. Sure, it feels intense, but it is just feelings. It is not like something is actually happening in my body. So let me tell you about the needle. In 1998, a team led by a researcher named Paul Bernhardt did something nobody had bothered to do. They measured the hormones of the fans. Not the players, the people watching. They tested testosterone in male fans before and after big games. And when their team won, the fans' testosterone jumped by around 20%. When their team lost, it fell by about the same. The exact hormonal swing the athletes had out on the field was happening to the men on the couch. Your body was on the pitch, even though your body never left the room. And then the World Cup handed scientists the perfect laboratory. A team led by Leander van der Meij measured Spanish fans during the 2010 World Cup final. And while they watched, two hormones climbed. Testosterone, the competition chemical, and cortisol, the stress chemical. Both higher than on an ordinary day. And the more devoted the fan, the bigger the surge, the cortisol spiking hardest in the people for whom the team had basically become part of who they are. Their bodies were reacting to a football match, the way a body reacts to real danger. So the next time your chest is tight, and your hands are not quite steady, and you cannot sleep over a result you could not control, understand what that actually is. That is not you being a baby. That is a 200,000-year-old status and threat system running a real tribal contest, complete with the real chemistry. The grief feels real, because to the oldest part of your brain, the tribe is real. Okay, deep breath. Whew. Because I am not going to leave you feeling like a caveman who got outsmarted by a ball. And here is the honest version, because this is exactly where it is easy to overclaim. Sports did not evolve. There was no Stone Age World Cup. We are not built for sport. We accidentally invented the one piece of culture that picks the lock of the coalition brain perfectly. A safe, bloodless way to feel the oldest thing we have ever felt, that we belong to an us, and our us is going up against their them. And this time, nobody has to die. It is the tribe, with snacks. So what do you do with that? Not care less. You honestly can't, and I am not sure you should have to. The move is to see clearly what you are really there for. Because underneath the result, underneath the win and the loss, the thing your ancient brain is actually drinking in is the belonging. The strangers who become we. The chant that turns a crowd into one body. In a scattered, lonely modern world, a stadium is one of the last places a grown adult can stand shoulder to shoulder with thousands of people and feel, for 90 minutes, completely part of something. That part is not the bug. That part is the treasure. So lean into that, on purpose. Watch with people, not alone. Let the result be the excuse and the togetherness be the point. And there is a shadow. The same loyalty can curdle into hatred for the other side, the shoving, the ugliness between fans. Hold that loosely. Because the fan in the other color, screaming just as hard as you, is not your enemy. He is your mirror, running the exact same ancient program, just born in a different city. You can love your tribe without needing theirs to be the enemy. That might be the most evolved thing a fan can do. So the next time 22 strangers chase a ball, and your whole body comes alive, and that embarrassed little voice asks, "What is wrong with me?" answer it kindly. Nothing. Nothing is wrong with you. You were handed an ancient, magnificent instinct for loyalty and belonging, built for a tribe you would have died for, and you found a new one, in a color, in a crowd, in a song. That is not immaturity. That is the most human thing about you. Your tribe brain works perfectly. It just went looking for a tribe to love, and found one chasing a ball. So go on. Wear the colors, sing too loud, feel all of it. And maybe, send this to the one friend whose entire weekend depends on a final whistle. They need to hear that it isn't just them.